different.
I can start.
That, yeah. All right. Rabotai, Parashat Yitro. Rabotai, Parashat Yitro. Every year, I get a new answer from Shamayim. I'm serious. It's not Minat Shamayim. I got a new answer. What's the question? The question I always had, every Parashat Yitro, I always have this question, and it's always bothering me. What's the question? How is it that you have Parashat Yitro, where it speaks about the Aseret HaDibrot, and you have Yitro as the name? What zechut did Yitro have to have his name Parashat Yitro? And you know, every single time the Aseret HaDibrot, the Ten Commandments, the Torah was given in that Parashat Shavua, and it's Parashat Yitro. You hear the question? Solid question. I love it. You hear the question? It's a solid question. What's the pshat? So, I'm going to give you two answers tonight. Two answers. First answer is from the Rabbi Yosef. I'm adding in, I'll tell you what he says and I'll add in to explain. It says, we know that Yitro heard something, right? So Rashi explains, what did he hear? What does the Torah say? What does it say? Pass the Humash, we'll see it. Want to pass the Humash? He heard about the Yam Suf, right? He heard about the Yam Suf and about Amalek, right? Here. Vayishma Yitro. So he says, Ki Yotzi Yad Hashem Mitzrayim. Right? So the Torah says, right? Vayishma Torah. So if you look at Rashi on the bottom, Rashi says, Mashmu Hashama Uba, Kriyat Yam Suf Umechem Amalek. That's what Rashi says, right? What did he hear? He heard the Kriyat Yam Suf, and he heard the Melchama Amalek, and now he wants to convert. He wants to be Jewish. He's excited. He wants to be Jewish. That's what it is, and he's so excited. Now the question is, we understand Kriyat Yam Suf. Who wouldn't convert? You hear such a story like that. Wow, you don't understand. This is amazing. Wow, and then that I understand. But what is the pshat of Melchemet Amalek? Why? Because he heard the war of Amalek, did he say, oh, I heard that, now I'm converting? What is the pshat? It's a good question. Good question. Winning. Because we won. Okay, and therefore what? So what if we won? So what if we won? There's other wars that we're fighting and we win. Why specifically this war of Amalek that we won, that he said, now I'm going to go and I'm going to convert? What's the pshat? Good? Good. Now I have to give you the answer. This is the Rabbi Yosef says. He writes as follows. He says you have to understand something. You have to understand that by Kriyat Yam Suf, the entire world was hearing about it. The whole world heard Kriyat Yam Suf. Wow, what a splitting of the sea. What of this? What of that? This is wild. The whole world heard about it. And because the whole world heard about it, at that moment, every person, every nation was scared to fight against the Jewish nation. Everyone. They were just absolutely in fear of the Jewish people. They were in fear. Wow, their God split the sea? Wow. And there was a big Kiddush Hashem. It was a big honor for God that was going on in the world. Wow. Now what happens? What happens is Amalek comes, and what does Amalek do? Amalek cools everything down. How do they cool everything down? He cools everything down. I can't believe it. Imagine how everybody's scared. Oh, you don't want to start up with them? I'll start up with them. So it cool. Oh, wow. So you could start with them. Fine, they beat us. But at the end of the day, you could still fight with them. So the honor at that moment that they had for the Jewish nation was a little less now. Wow, look at that. After Kriyat Yam Suf, I thought nobody was going to mess around. This nation went ahead and started up with the people of Eis. Wow, with the Jewish people. Wow, this is wild. They got in, they got involved. And since they got involved already, it cooled everything down. And because it cooled everything down, Yitro himself said, I have to do something. Yitro, you have to understand, he was very, very popular. You have to understand, he was one of the advisors of Paro himself. So he himself is a very big advisor. So Yitro, he was Kohen Midyan. He wasn't a regular guy. He was the guy. He was like the prince, whatever you want to call him. And the whole world knew him. The whole world, who doesn't know Yitro? They all knew Yitro. He was the right-hand man of Paro. Everybody knows the right-hand man of the king. He was the advisor. So that being the case, he said, Yitro said, I'm going to have to bring back the kavod of Hashem, and I'm going to show the people you can't mess around. Guess what? You can't mess around so much so, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to be part of them. Now the whole world is starting to hear. Everybody went to greet Yitro, and the whole, right? Moshe went, then Yoshua, then his brother Aaron, then the whole Am Yisrael, and the news went out. The news went out, what? Yitro is converting. Wow, people heard that. It brought back the kavod Hashem. It brought back the honor of God. What are we here for, Rabotai? We're here for one reason, to bring kavod Shamayim. That's what we're here for, to bring more glory of God. True or not true? Right? What do we say? Kadosh, Kadosh, Kadosh. Amunai Tzvakot. Meloch kol haaretz kevodo. The whole glory is His. Baruch Kavod Hashem mekomon. Kavod Hashem is all His. The ikar in life, you have to know, what are we doing here in life? We're doing one great thing. We're bringing honor to Hashem. And every mitzvah that you do, you have to understand, even though you could be all alone in a room, you do that one mitzvah, you bring the greatest kavod to Hashem. But who's watching you? Hashem's watching you. The malachim writing it down. What do you think? Every single person has a megillah. Just like they have a megillah, they say you have a megillah. Call the Pirkei Avot says, everything is being written. Every single thing is being written. And therefore you have to understand, when you, at the end of the day, when you're doing any mitzvah, you're bringing kavod shamayim. Even a lady, she might be in a house. She's working on a tzniut. And in her house, she wears tzniut, even though she never walked outside the house. But she's working on herself. Friday night, Shabbat, she's working on herself. Nobody saw, she didn't walk outside at all. But she was tzniut. Hashem sees that. He's writing it down. The malachim is giving kavod for Hashem. It's giving kavod shamayim. It could be a guy, sits and learns by himself. Nobody knows. It's a Friday night, Lel Shabbat. He's home, and all of a sudden he opens up his Gemara. The biggest kavod shamayim he's doing. Why? It's being written. Even though nobody's seeing you, but it's still the honor of God because Hashem is writing it down. And at that moment, guess what? The malachim are seeing that. Malachim is like, wow, look at the kavod shamayim. Look at this. One time they came, Shmuel Birnbaum was on a boat. It was a very famous story of Shmuel Birnbaum. How he was on a boat coming to America, and he was learning on the boat. And the captain got up and says, if you look to your right, you'll see there's a certain sightseeing. And they said, oh, Rosh Hashiva. I said, at that time it was Rosh Hashiva. But he said, Rabbi, look. He says, no, I'm learning now. He says, what do you mean? But you're never going to see it again. Just look for 1 second, you'll never see it again. And he said, yes, that's exactly what I'm learning. I'm showing Hashem that even though this item I'm never going to see again, but I'm in the middle of learning. I can't stop my learning. If I'm in a learning, I don't care if I'll never ever be able to see this beautiful thing again. I'm in the middle of my learning. I can't stop. Like the Pirkei Avot says, oh, if a person's in the middle of learning, it says, oh, how nice this ilan, how nice this tree is. Chas v'shalom, you know what happens to him. So at the end of the day, you see Shmuel Birnbaum, he's understood this concept of kavod shamayim, of giving honor to God. It doesn't make a difference who's watching you. A lot of people think, oh, who's watching me, who's seeing me, how is it kavod shamayim? It's not true. Hashem sees you, and that's the biggest honor that you can give. Actually, it's even better, because it says, you know, nobody sees you, you do your thing, you do your charity, you do your this, whatever you do. You know, Hashem sees you, Hashem's watching you, Hashem's writing it down, they're writing it down in Shamayim for you, you get up there, you're going to see how much kavod Shamayim that you give. So therefore, Rabotai, what did Yitro do? Yitro brought back the kavod Hashem. How? Because he was great, he was a great man at the time. He was a great man amongst nations, amongst all the goyim. Once he saw Milchem Amalek, how they had the chutzpah, they had the audacity to take down the kavod of Hashem, the kavod shamayim of Hashem, they said, that's it. What are we going to do? Yitro said, I will be the one, and I will make sure to bring back the kavod shamayim. How? I'm converting. Yeah. So that's why hearing the Milchem Amalek, that it brought down the Chas v'shalom, brought down the kavod shamayim, that caused a big lack of kavod shamayim around the world. Yitro said, I'm going to bring it back. I'm going to go and I'm going to convert. I'm going to be Jewish. Hashem saw that. You bring me back kavod shamayim. If that's the case, guess what? Hashem says, you're giving me kavod shamayim. I'm going to give you the kavod shamayim. And we're going to name Yitro in the parasha where we give the Aseret HaDivrot, where we give the Ten Commandments, where we give the Torah. That's going to be your parasha. Yeah. Yeah or no? That's what it is. It's a wild pshat. But this is what it is. I feel it's emet. Midah k'nei midah. Don't think in your life you do something great. Don't think it won't come back to you. It'll come back to you. It'll come back to you. Trust me, it will come back to you. You do something great. Nobody even knows about it. I know a guy one time. I know this. I'm the only one he told. Rabbi, I'm the only time me. There was somebody very much. It was really like a Sefer Torah, and he went into a place where the Sefer Torah. He didn't like the outside of the Sefer Torah how it looked. It looked worn out. So he went to the Gabbai, and the Gabbai said, "Listen, you could change it. You could pay for it, but the guy already donated. His name is on it." He says, "I don't care. This Torah has to look most respectful." He's like, I'm going to pay, use the same person's name. That's what he did. Meaning to say, he paid for the whole outside case and everything like that, and he left the guy's name on it, even though he didn't pay for it, he left it. He says, well, why? He wanted to show kavod of the Torah. But nobody's giving him any credit for it. Nobody, it doesn't make a difference. Hashem sees you. Same thing with when you're raising your kids. You're raising your kids. You might not be in your house 24/7, but your wife is raising the kids. And you see nobody sees what she's going through. She's putting Chaim to sleep, putting this one to sleep, putting Esther, putting all these things. You know how much work? It's a lot of work. Taking them to school, bring them back from school, taking them to this program, taking them to that program, bring a tutor so they understand, feeding them, cleaning them, showering them. It's a lot of work. Who's giving the kavod to the lady in the house that's doing that? Don't worry. Hashem sees. You're giving kavod shamayim. You're bringing out the honor of Hashem by taking care of Hashem's children. Because every child that you have, again, it's not your child. It's Hashem gave to you as a gift. And you're taking care of His child. Hashem says, you're taking care of my child? We're shutafin. Like it says, who are they? Who's shutafin with who? Hashem. It says, HaKadosh Baruch Hu and parents are shutafim. They're partners in the actual child, in the birth of the child. And therefore, Rabotai, this is why I would say, one of the answers that through the Rabbi Yosef, that what is the reason why Yitro has the zechut of being the main parasha of Aseret HaDivrot? Because he gave kavod shamayim after Melchem Alot. He gave kavod shamayim. Hashem says, you gave kavod shamayim? Don't worry, I'll bring it back. Midah k'nei midah. I'll give you the biggest kavod. What's the biggest kavod? To name Parashat Yitro after him. That's the biggest kavod that a person can get every single year. We read it, everybody knows. Where's the Aseret HaDivrot? In Parashat Yitro. Rabotai, that was one point. I want to tell you another answer to this question. But before I tell you this answer, I have to tell you something very interesting about the Havetz Haim, what he said about Matan Torah. Matan Torah, we have to speak about it, and I'll go back and I'll give you another answer from Rav Label Eger. Okay? Remind me. I'm not finished this one until I give you the second answer. Okay, you ready? Like this. Havetz Haim says, listen to what the Havetz Haim says. Havetz Haim says, was Har Sinai kadosh by the time of Matan Torah, and was anybody allowed to actually touch it or go on it? Yes or no? No? Yes or no? By Matan Torah, right? Was anybody allowed to go on Har Sinai? Yes or no? Huh?
There's two questions. One's yes, one's no.
What's the two questions?
He says Har Sinai kadosh.
Har Sinai and Matan Torah. Was anybody allowed to go on the mountain? Yes or no? Absolutely not. It's asur. You're not allowed. Chayav mitah. You touch it, chayav mitah. Like what are you kidding me? What's going on? Havetz Haim says very simple. The Torah is going on that mountain, and therefore it's remaining kadosh. So he says, imagine right after that it was gone. It's gone, right? Then they could go back on. Right after Matan Torah, they could go on. Right? They could go back. Right? Yes or no? If the ones after Matan Torah, could they go back on Har Sinai? Yes or no? So they're allowed. They're allowed. So the question, you see that what? This is talking about a mountain that has Torah on it. and it's so kadosh, be careful. You can't go next to it, you can't be careful. Imagine a person who's learning the Torah, that has the Torah, not on it, but in it. Yeah. Be careful. Be careful, because sometimes people, they step on the wrong toes, especially Tamil Hacham. You have to be careful. Sometimes a person messes with Tamil Hacham, you can't start with nobody. You can't start with nobody. Why? If you mess with an Amar that doesn't know nothing, so therefore he can have akbada on you, he'll never forgive you. That's a problem. At least Chacham will forgive you. But the problem is you're messing with the Torah when you're messing with Chacham. Because the Chacham has the Torah in him. So if you say something about the Chacham, sometimes a person might say it on the Shabbat table, you come back, oh, the rabbi's this, the rabbi's that. Holy, you talking about the Chacham? Holy, Shema Yisrael, be very, very careful. Be very, very careful. Why? Because you're not talking about him. You're talking about him that has the Torah. And imagine, Qiyam Mitah was if you go on a mountain that the Torah is on it, Kol Sheken V'Kol Sheken, if a person has the Torah in it, how much more so? How much more so you have to be careful? It's not a joke. It's a serious thing. Now, I want to tell you something. It says, I'm telling you a pshat over here, that I spoke to Rav Avram Bender, and he agreed to this pshat. So I'll say, B'chvod Rav David, I spoke to Rav Avram, my Rebbe, Rav Avram Bender, and he said, Emet. Listen to what I'm telling you now. We have a Gemara that says, Torah magna u'matzla. Torah protects and saves. Right? Torah protects and saves. Torah protects you and saves you. If a person is learning, constantly learning, it's almost impossible. Like you see many times in the Gemara, it says it's impossible that if the rabbi ate it, it's impossible it's not kosher. It had to be kosher. No? The Gemara is like that? They'll never have a takala. Even on the animals of the Chacham, in takala. Yes? You know, a lot of Gemaras like that. Yes or no? A lot of Gemaras like that. Even the animal. There's a Gemara in Mesechet Ta'anit that says, on Kavdalid, it says about Rabbi Yossi the Yukrat. It brings down over there a story of the animal, of his chamor, that when he rented it out to people. He rented it out to people. Oh, you want my chamor? No problem. It's $100, and $100 for the day. So the chamor is all the way there in Jintisville. So the guy would put $100 in the pouch of the donkey, and the donkey would go by itself back to the rabbi. One time, the donkey, what happened? He put too much. The owner of the guy who was renting out the donkey put a little bit less money, or a little bit more money. The Gemara says the donkey didn't go. He got to make sure it's the right amount. And one time, the guy forgot his shoes on the donkey. The donkey didn't go. He said, "I don't know why not go. Why not?" Oh, I don't want to take his shoe. You didn't want to take the shoe. The donkey. So what does it mean? Torah magna u'matzla. Torah protects and saves. What does that mean? Let me explain. What's the pshat? The pshat is the Torah will always protect you, right? Why? Because the second you're involved, I'll give you an example, perfect example. If you have a business partner, you and your partner, and your partner is about to make a bad investment with the company. Your partner, he's investing right now and buying merchandise where you're like, what? You're using the company's money to buy that merchandise? It's going to flop. No, I'm doing it. And he's about to do it. What do? You do anything in your capability to stop him. Why? Because if he buys that merchandise, guess what? You both are in the business now, and Has Shalom, you both could drown. You both could drown. The business could go to the dumps. The second you're learning Torah, you're putting Torah in your body, it's in your bloodstream, Torah becomes part of your body, becomes part of your whole being. Now, you automatically made you a partner in his life. And therefore, if heaven forbid, he's going to eat the Tamil Hacham, eat something that's not kosher, heaven forbid 1,000,000 times, the Torah itself that you're a partner with, because you learned so much of it, is going to stop you and say, there's no way he's going to eat that not kosher, because he is my partner with me, I'm in him, and if I'm in his body, there's no way I'm going to let this come into a body that's with Torah. Yeah? And not for you. Could be the Torah didn't give it. He cares about himself. The Torah cares about himself. It's a being. The Torah is a whole being. You hear what's going on? It's a very important pshat over here. The pshat is that the Torah, when you're learning and learning and learning and learning, the Torah becomes part of you. Once it becomes part of you, you force the Torah in a way that he's your partner in life. And if he's your partner in life, automatically, because you already learned him so much, you learned so much Gemarot and things like that, so it became part of you. Now he says, wait, I can't do that. I can't eat that non-kosher. Why? Because if you eat that non-kosher, I'm part of you. If I'm part of you, that means I'm eating non-kosher. I'll never let that happen. And he'll protect you. You're making sure not to do any sin. You understand the pshat? This is the pshat that we're saying here tonight. No, Rav David. Yeah. I'm going to conclude with this. So we have the first pshat, we said, why Parashat Yitro? And we explained the Kavod Shamayim because he called him Malek. Second pshat about how important it is to learn the Torah. It becomes part of you, becomes in you. And now, the final and last pshat. And this is from a rabbi called Rabbi Label Eger. This is what Label Eger says. And I want to quote to you his question. He asks, there's a sefer called Torah Emet. And he asks, and I quote, what is the inyan Hagdamat Vayishma Yitro Matan Torah? Why is it there's a Hagdama, there's an intro of Yitro, of that we're learning a whole background of Yitro, and then after that we're learning Matan Torah. Up until now we asked, what zechut did he have to be named Yitro? And we answered what we answered, Rabbi Yosef, through that. Now we're asking something else. We're asking, why is it the intro to Matan Torah? Yeah, the question. When you're giving the most important thing in the world, you're going to give an intro. Imagine right now you are in a assembly or something like that. You're in a big meeting, right? The intro is one of the most important things before the main thing. When you have all these, who's introducing? You have to go to the, who's introducing? There's an intro, and then there's the main event. So the intro has got to be very, very important before the main event. What is so important that we have to know about Yitro before the main event, which is the Torah? What is it? What is it? You ready for this? Rabotai, a person in life might feel, who am I? I'm already older. I didn't go to yeshiva. I can't become chacham. My teachers told me growing up I have ADD, ADHD from elementary till high school. And they gave me, I wasn't a good scholastic student. I wasn't this. And you could have every excuse in the book. Every excuse in the book. However, Yitro is teaching you, look at me. I wasn't even born Jewish. I came Jewish and I excelled in the Torah, that I became part of the Jewish nation. Now give the Torah. Now that's the Hakdamah. Now give the Torah. Because we don't want the Torah, when you're getting it, we don't want anybody to feel left out, whichever stage he is in life. Learn from Yitro. He never gave up. He could have said, I wasn't born into it. I was very far from it. I'm much older than everybody. How am I going to be part of this holy nation and the holy Torah? How can I do it? Oh, now we can give the Torah. You see what Yitro did? You see at his older age, you see what he sacrificed. He was the prince of all princes. He was the guy. He was famous. Guess what? Torah doesn't even come close to anything I did in my life. This is it. This is the real stuff, Rabotai. This is the real stuff, Rabotai. I have to understand a person takes nothing except Torah, mitzvot, ma'asim tovim. Takes nothing. You have to drill it in your mind. You have to think about it day and night. That's what it is. What are you taking? What are you taking? What are you taking with you? What are you taking with you? Focus. If you focus in life, you can make it big in anything that you're focusing on. People focus on this and they get successful in that. But if you focus on this, you'll be successful in this. This is your success in life. This is your success in life. What's your success? Your success is Torah, mitzvot, ma'asim tovim. Even they say, B'Shem of Chatzkel Levenstein, they say B'Shem Reb Chazkel Levenstein, he says he would say over. Even you take goyim, celebrities, wow. At their funeral, what do you think they say about them? Oh, he was the best actor. What does he say? What do they say about him? Oh, he started this foundation and he helps the kids in cancer getting better, and he helps this, he helps that. It's all ma'asim tovim, it's all good deeds. They're not saying, oh, how good looking the guy was. They're not talking about his looks. Why? They're talking about his ma'asim tovim, what he did, even by the goyim. Kol shekin and kol shekin us. And therefore, Rabotai, I want to read you his lashon, and I'm going to conclude with this. He says, in Yan Aktima Vishma Yitro Matan Torah hu Lelamed Da'at Lebal Yityaesh Shum Ish Has Veshalom Havetz Haim Amitim. He says the reason is the Hagdama of Yitro is nobody should give up. Nobody should ever give up hope that he cannot do it. You want life? You can do it. You can do it. You can do it. Have a great night. Huh?